We're checking out private servers of the community again, and this video will be insane. There are giant castles, super detailed buildings, and an insane SMP in the end. Make sure to stay watching to not miss out on any of these crazy builds. The first private server is the one of Cappy and friends. This server is a greatly detailed village. Right here, at the water, there's this little restaurant. And some docks, of course. There's also a little market. Let's enter the main city. We're greeted with 2 cannons. Let's go into this house. It's a normal residential building. On the right side is this building. I absolutely love how these bubble spawners were integrated as decoration. Small market area here. This looks interesting. Great. Then, this manor. It's built from a tutorial of horse meat. Awesome builder too. Shout out. A big dinner table right next to the entrance area. And on the top floor, many small rooms. You can even enter the attic, although that one is pretty empty. After walking through the main village, you can get up to this plateau over this stair. In the cave is the prison. That actually fits pretty well. Cappy also told me that there will be a castle soon. But there's something else in the desert too. An arena. Looks like it's red versus blue. I love the banners. There are also many obstacles and even cannons. I can imagine a fight in here being a lot of fun. Alright. Thanks a lot for showing me, Cappy. This is the private server of the Diamond Dolphin. Firstly, a big and very detailed dock. There are drawbridges to close off the different ship parking spots. There are also boat builders working in this harbour. These are 2 longboats that are in the process of completion. After they're done, they can be released into the water over this slope. This is the builder's office. The head of construction works here. There are a lot of crates that will be exported with the ship stacked, and quite some gold and other treasures are getting loaded onto this imperial ship. With all that cargo getting shipped away, there must of course be a shipwright's office with its own logbook. In the back, there's the kitchen for all the harbour workers. Behind all of this stacked hay, there's a little smuggler's office, with a secret passageway into the imperial treasure chamber, of course. That one is found in the back of a storage hall. Wow, the storytelling in this server is amazing. Let's leave the harbour for now. This part is still under construction, but these will be the houses for the poorer people. All these plots will be filled with these, and even further into the Imperial Kingdom is the alley for the rich. The frontages of the buildings are already mostly complete. At the end of the alley is this statue again, insanely detailed of course. This place is the city square. Many shops will be here, but only the blacksmith is currently done. The ground floor is the working area of the blacksmith. And on the first floor is the living area of it. Small living room, bedroom for the children, with this really good-looking double bed. This dining room and kitchen and the master bedroom. It's still being built, so it's not as detailed yet. And behind this castle wall is the kingdom grounds. Basically, farms and NPCs. There will, of course, be a bigger castle up here in the future. This was the mainland of the Imperial Kingdom, but it also expanded into the jungle where it has its own little storage. And this small outpost, there will also be a treehouse civilization in the future. Wow, this server is incredibly cool. Thank you for showing it to me. The next server is the one of Retro. He's a tester for Survival Tales, by the way. Retro's private server starts with this massive staircase that looks really good. We then came to the NPC area. Nice. And on the top of the mountain, the main castle, little storage hut behind the entrance. Then, there's a cage for Teddy the bear. Here are the workstations, another staircase, and we get to the main castle. A throne room right after the entrance gate. You can overview that one from up here. Really cool. Then, there's Retro's room. There's even a secret. If you jump through this bush correctly, you get into a secret chamber with some potions. You can also get underneath the castle from here. And there's a secret crafting station room. The view from the top towers is definitely really cool too. Thanks for showing me, Retro. The next private server, contains this awesome looking fort in the desert. This was built in only one day by Ash and Knight here. The outside is full of the new siege weapons, as well as many beige colored rocks and crates, giving the illusion of defensive walls made of sand. Then, by walking through this main gate, we get into the fort. Here's another defensive wall with 2 catapults. Back here, the merchant area with these differently colored tents, as well as these statues. On the other side of the fort is the aim training area. And even farther back, the housings. Really cool looking designs for the houses, a bit of decoration. In it too, the second, a bit larger house contains a small bar and 2 empty floors. Remember that all of this was built in only one day, so there's not too much detail yet. There's also another building on this server, this water castle. It's mainly an arena. Well, it's a storage right now, lol. But there are some smaller buildings too. And the forges are all under tents with the corresponding color, which is pretty nice. This server is the one of Navy Boy Arts and a few friends. It has a jungle civilization village. Got messed up a bit ever since the gigantic trees got added in the jungle update though. There's a little dock, and this really cool looking path. Up to this hill, there's the well of the civilization. There's also a town hall or restaurant in the village. Got a nice place to eat and even sleep on the 2nd floor. The main castle of the village is up here though. There's a little market in the middle of the castle with some tents and furnaces, and the Hall of Death, where the crocodile is. Up this stair and we're in the entrance hall. Dinner table right here. The trees also messed this up a little. This hallway leads to a roof freeway. And then you get to the church. Pretty cool looking building. Back to the main castle building. There's also a 2nd floor with a table, some beds, and this washing room. Even higher up is the king's bedroom, and this balcony with a table too. Let's get to the desert. It's an arena, but it has a bit of a special shape. There's a lot of space for viewers. The fighters get onto the arena through the holes in the floor closed with these drawbridges. That's a pretty nice mechanic. Under the arena is a bit of a maze with a lot of passageways. Then, there's this battle ring. It's 1 player versus a lion. Nice. And finally, there's this castle on top of the desert maze. Thanks for showing me your private server. This is Rusty Springs' private server. This castle is gigantic. Let's check it out. There are some farmland fields in the lowest area of the castle. If you go through this gate and then through this nice passage, you're getting to the storage for all the different kinds of crops that are farmed outside. There are also all the different workstations on top of the storage, not finished yet though. There's a small church too with a working bell on top of the tower. Let's go a bit higher into the castle, to ballistas to defend the castle if it's raided. On the right side is an unfinished prison, and a lot more building space. Let's go to the left side. This is the main castle. I like the building technique of making the railing with skulls on sticks. Well, the whole skull theme is pretty present in this castle, meaning the whole inside is filled with them lol. Yeah, I didn't expect that lol. But yeah, little overview over the whole castle again, and thanks for showing me. The last server is an SMP, and this one is gonna be crazy. The first building of it is on the Stonehenge Island. Wow, look at this bridge with the red carpet. Here are the owners. Let's enter this kingdom through this castle gate in the tower. Wow, let's follow Aureus through this little forest. This building looks awesome. It contains a map table with some chairs around it. There's already the first building technique implemented right here. These fountains as the wall decoration. Let's walk down the path even further. A little farm right next to this factory building. This is the memorial for the last season played on this SMP. All the players that play on here have a completely new account by the way. They only play on this server with it. So dark steel is impossible to get. These flowers are awesome by the way. Let's go to the harbour. This is the mailbox. Players are allowed to join with their main accounts to colour stuff if there's an admin overwatching them. This harbour looks great. Small fish market. Nice. This ship right here is from Season 2. It survived the giant war. 3 months old. Next to the port is this little NPC farming area. And up this hill is this statue. Let's go to the living area of Stonehenge. And this is Knight's Bar. He suddenly left this SMP. The next building is the museum. The lore of this SMP is pretty big, so it would take too long to explain every item in here. For example, this is the design of the first ever flag on this server. There are a lot of things to see here, but let's leave the museum again and go to the workstations. This is Bob's castle. It's basically a little bedroom inside of it, and you can walk around it on this hallway. There's a bathroom too, and you can sit in the bathtub because of the chair in it. There's a tower in this castle too, and you got an awesome view from here. Look at Stonehenge. Insane. Let's walk back to the spawn island over the bridge, because here's a little scuba diving club. I already got my scuba suit. Orius built something really cool down there in the water. Let's dive to it. It's the Viking village of Stonehenge. Back in the days, the water level wasn't so high, but over time, these houses got flooded by the rising ocean level. This looks incredibly cool. This was the old dock, and here's the wreck of a longboat. Let's move on from Stonehenge now. This is the Kingdom of the Diamond Dolphin. Looks really good. Suddenly, it will probably never be finished though, because this whole SMP will go into Season 4 soon. The whole server is going to be destroyed then. The next thing is on near mainland. It's Baguette Land LOL. This is also a building made by Orius. It's literally a whole production chain of baguettes. The end product is sold here in this little shop. But first, the wheat has to grow, which is then packaged. The wheat will then be stunted here to get the eatable part. That part is stored here for 3 months. After that, the bread will be produced in this windmill. Look at these building techniques. Insane. And after all of these production steps, you can eat the baguette. This was Baguette Land. Let's follow this street to get to the Kingdom of Leo. This building looks awesome. There's a mailbox, of course. Then, once entered through the gate, there are multiple different offices on either side. Really nice. And there's also the bedroom of the king. Look at the ceiling of this building. Next to this main one, there are also multiple smaller buildings. Next to it, a court right here, multiple small factories, and finally, a small bar. This to be CSNP is insane. Thank you everyone for showing me. Great job on this server. And this was it with all the buildings. Here's another private server video. Make sure to leave a like if you want me to tour more private servers. Thanks to all my channel members. Special shout out to I'm Not Max Teabag 3. Thank you so much for watching, and bye. Subscribe.